What a good night. Go Lions. How about them Lions? What a good game. Got everything set up. Just wanted to come on for a few minutes, chit chat, little cruise talk, maybe a little YouTube talk, of course, a little Lions talk. Nobody thought the Lions could do it. Oh, ye of little faith. Was able to make a little bit of money tonight, thanks to people doubting the Lions. Jennifer, welcome in. Will G, thanks for being in here. I was, a little upset. If for those who watched the game all night long, they had the Kansas City Chiefs had a lineman who was, I mean, he was lined up in the wrong spot the entire night, and everybody knew it, but apparently the referees. And he was starting early, false start early all night long, and they didn't call until like, oh, I don't know, about 2 minutes left in the game. But I was happy. Kansas City, they had a lot of drops. They probably should have won the game, but I am. I'm still happy. Will G, I understand. Thanks for stopping in for a second. I appreciate it. I'm not gonna be here long. I wanted to talk to like Jennifer and talk about some YouTube stuff, but I had to throw the Lions name up in there. It's been a while. Normally, this is the type of game the Lions lose. They find some way to come back. The other team finds some way to come back. It's like when they scored that touchdown right before half. A minute and 20 seconds, a minute 30 seconds left, and they marched down the field in 3 plays. That's typical Lions, as they say, same old Lions. But tonight it was a little different, just a little bit. So Sherry, yep, Sherry, Jennifer, you're the topic you were talking about earlier. Again, I think that's a good topic. It's easier for me to get on here and talk than it is to type. So you had messaged me a little earlier. Um, I think it's a, I think it's a good topic, and the thing is being able to talk about topics, with a little bit of a passion, and if we can get Tony to do that, and I think it could be a good topic. People, I think it's a topic that people are going to want to know. All I can say is Raider Nation. I like the Raiders, and again, well, let me take that back. I liked the Raiders when they were in Oakland. I'm still trying to get used to the Las Vegas Raiders, so it's going to take me a little while to get used to it. It's going to take me a little while to get used to it. But I always did like the Raiders. The one thing about I'll never forget. I went out there, 5 6 years ago. Whenever Calvin Johnson was playing, I went out there for a game, and that was a different place. I was nervous wearing my jersey out there. At one point, I wanted to go and put my jersey on and go sit in the black hole. I was glad I decided against that. Lions came back and won that game, by the way. Uh, it still wasn't as bad as Dallas. Dallas at the end of the game, they were obnoxious. I went down to Texas to see the Lions play down there, and when they lost, the Cowboys fans were obnoxious. Oh, I forgot to set my night bot up for no banter with Bill. Well, I'm gonna leave it down there. I'm not gonna go set up, redo the night bot tonight. I will put that up there though. But other than that, nothing else is really much going on. Yeah, I don't know. It's something about the Cowboys, and when you argue with them, see again, Lions, they haven't won since 1957. They haven't won it forever. But when you talk to Cowboy fans, I guess they don't realize this has been 40 years for them. I was back in high school. I mean, they when you talk to Cowboy fans, it's a different animal. Yeah, and back when I was in high school, I liked the Cowboys and San Francisco and the Steelers. I mean, I liked all these teams, but again, Pittsburgh fans were good. They won, so I don't know how they are in the loss. But no, I mean, it was the Dallas fans. I mean, they were just, I mean, like violent. I mean, you can see they wanted trouble. Oakland wasn't like that, and Pittsburgh wasn't like that. Cleveland wasn't like that. I mean, I've been up to a few games, and Cowboy fans are special, and they still live in the world of they're world champions. And hey, Trish, welcome in. And it's been a while. I mean, again, we're talking a long time. Will G, I hate typing on the phone. I hate it. We them boys. New Orleans is a fun place to go visit and go to a game. They got a nice little setup there, like pregame. It's nice. I like the New Orleans. Who that gonna beat them Saints? I like New Orleans. Trish, I'm glad you made it in. I'm just up here, just nothing better to do. So I said I would come on here live and talk a little football, talk a little YouTube, talk a little cruising, talk about whatever people want to talk about. And I find like we're going to talk about YouTube for a second. Talking on YouTube, I mean, it takes practice. Luckily for me, I can talk about anything. I have to get over my shyness sometimes, but even doing this, it makes it easier to do. But I can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Hey, I'll find something to talk about. Um, it just so happens that when you talk about cruising, now I'm interested. Now I'm invested in cruising, so it makes it a lot easier for me. And a lot of times, I bounce things off of Jennifer and Andrew and Sherry and Mike Clark. I talk to them a lot as far as like cruising stuff, and it makes it easier as far as trying to find topics to talk about. I I want to like avoid like talking about the same thing all the time, and it gets difficult. I mean, you're going to repeat some stuff, but I don't want to repeat the same stuff every time I come on, and that's what I'm trying to get better at is when I do my Wednesday show with controversial cruising. When I do my show with controversial cruising, we try to talk about something different, and we try not to say more than an hour, because after an hour, now you're gonna start repeating yourself or repeating what other people said. So banter with Bill again. I try to limit it to an hour, and that it helps me some. um, writing out or typing out like the points, my notes, and I got that from controversial cruising, trying to be more organized. Betty is like that. I am Betty J. Gathers. So I mean, again, that's what my thought process. So Jennifer, when you were talking about your topic, I'm not going to say the topic because YouTube streets are well, and again, when I say YouTube streets, usually I mean YouTube streets, cruising YouTube streets. It's somewhat competitive, and people are always looking for topics. So when you come up with a unique topic, um, now you'll see other people coming up with the same topics. You don't talk about the same thing generally, but the honest, welcome in. Thanks for coming in, my friend. I appreciate it. Oh, I'm just looking at Nightbot, what Nightbot is dropping. Appreciate you being here. But I want to be keep it interesting if I can, but not not crazy and not I notice a lot of times we get in the habit of telling the same story, telling the same joke, telling and I'm working on trying to do better than that, and that's why normally I don't like tonight. I'm coming on here, but I'm not. There's really no topic. I'm just kind of rambling. So um, for tonight, that's fine. But like my show on Thursday at Banter with Bill, I kind of want a unique topic where I can talk about something and people can ask questions and then leave. And I think that's better than just being up here until people until people get bored. You know, like tonight. If I bore you guys, hey, sorry. I don't mean to, but it happens. As I said, I just wanted to come on here and talk to just different people. Will G, one of these days, I would like to get on a panel with you guys. Talking is easier than it's Will G. It really is. Not until I get a better computer set up. Will G, you don't need a. Again, I don't know your computer setup, but you could do it on your phone. The only problem is if you like say if I came on here and you wanted to come up with me, it wouldn't be a problem. The problem comes into like if I'm hosting, so if I needed to throw somebody out, I need another screen open where I can go to YouTube and kick them out. I can't kick anybody out from here, like in the chat. I can put them in timeout, but I can't delete the comment and things like that. So I also have to have a another another YouTube open of my own live stream, so I can go there, so I can pin comments up to the top if I want to. If I want to, delete a comment, I can. Um, so, but again, if you want to just ever come up, hold on, Jennifer said something. Will G, you are welcome to join us when you are ready. Yeah, feel free. I don't bite Jennifer. Again, that's why I hang out with Jennifer and Andrew and Sherry and Mike Clock. Um, they're here to help anybody. If you have a question, if anything you want answered, if they know the answer, they'll gladly tell you. The Bud Files, do you ever sleep? Welcome in, Bud Files. Thanks for being here. Yeah, if you ever have any questions about anything of how to do it, how to set it up, how I'm not the best at it, but if you want to learn how to set up Nightbot, I can show you how to set up Nightbot, a simple Nightbot. But again, it would be enough to where, hey, if you want somebody to be able to drop their link, you can do that. And again, that goes for anybody. Trish, if you needed help with anything, uh, it doesn't have to be cruise related. If I know how to do it, and if I'm willing to help anybody. There's enough room in the streets out here in YouTube for all of us to make it. Sometimes people get competitive about it, and I guess if you're in the same market, in the same uh, genre, maybe you hold things a little closer to your vest. Like Jennifer and I, we talk, and we're both in the cruise community, but I mean, we both try to help each other. It's like, hey, what can I do to help you? What can I do to help you? What can you do to help me? I mean, we help because there's enough people out there that we can all make it. Yes, yes, and that's definitely one of the benefits. And there's nothing wrong with that either. And a lot of times, you want to talk about it, but trying to type it out, and what happens is, if you ever been on a panel, the chat moves. So if I start talking about a subject, say somebody asks me a question, and I start talking about the question, the chat is still going, and it's moving, and it's tough to keep up with the chat. That's why you wind up missing some people. I try to skip over the people saying hello to everybody, but um for people that are like me, like in here, I love people talking in the chat, whether they're talking to me, whether they're talking to themselves. I love it. It shows engagement, which YouTube likes. So they hopefully will share you out more. And um it makes it easier, but again, keeping up with the chat is hard. And when somebody asks a question, if I'm talking for 5 minutes on a subject, I'm 5 minutes behind in the chat. So you're answering a question in the chat that I asked 5 minutes ago, before I get to it. So that's why, if you ever see me like going through the chat and I'm skipping through stuff, that's why. I don't mean to be rude to anybody, but it's I try to stay closer to the end. So oh, let me make sure my hat's straight. That feels crooked. Um, but again, for me, I don't like, and again, everybody does their own. This is like a personal dislike. When people are so far behind in the chat that they can't even, when somebody answers a question, they have no idea what they're answering anymore. But that's what happens when you start to ramble off on one topic. I'm learning some things about StreamYard where if I see a question, how to highlight it on StreamYard so I can come back to it later on. But I try not to get too far behind, and I do the best that I can, and everybody does. Jennifer says you have a lot of cruise knowledge and would be great on a panel. You would be, and even if you don't, as again, even if you don't want to do content, just being able to talk about it without typing about it. I mean, you could actually talk about a topic in real time, which is why again, I came up here tonight. Jennifer and I we were typing back and forth. I'm not the best typist. I was on my phone, and it was like I want to tell her that I thought it was a good idea, but just make sure you develop some questions. So what you don't want is they call it dead air, where you're just sitting there and there's nothing there. You don't have anything to talk about. Um, that's not good. That's not a good thing. You lose uh, the people's interest. Sometimes you can't you can't help it, especially like tonight. Again, I don't have anything planned. So you probably get dead air tonight, but I don't consider this like part of my show. And again, the people that are here like this time at night are people that I know, and we're just talking about whatever you want to talk about. If you want to talk about cruising or YouTube, the little bit I do know about YouTube. We are Jennifer. We are guilty of that and try not to, but sometimes I just get to talking. It's easy to do. It's easy to do, Jen. And again, I'm trying to get better at it. Like today, I tried. I mean, the chat was really moving, and a lot of people saying hi. And then they started talking about a movie, and I mean, they were going back and forth about this movie. It's fine because I enjoy the engagement in the chat. However, I can't keep up with it because all these questions about the movie was coming up, and I'm trying to find out if anybody's asking any questions about cruising or anything like that, talking to me. That's why when people ask you, "Hey, type in question," put in question marks. That's so they can look at it easily and spot it because you're the camera is here, the chat is here, and for me, usually my notes are I have a couple of monitors, so my notes are right here. So I'm looking around, and it's easy to fall behind in the chat. And on top of that, I have to look because if let's say I fall 7 minutes, 8 minutes behind in the chat, and I get a troll in there. Let's say I don't have a moderator in there to um, time that person out or anything like that, or delete the comment um, because they're watching. I can't do that from necessarily from StreamYard, but they can do it from YouTube. But if I'm 7 or 8 minutes behind and I don't have a moderator in here, whatever that person said is going to be there until I get down to it, and that's you're talking seven or 8 minutes into the chat, which is what you're trying to avoid. But that's why moderators they're not there. They're there to like greet people as they come in, which is nice, but monitor the chat, not necessarily monitor what I'm saying and listening, trying to be part of the chat, which is good, but that's really not what they're there for. They're there to watch to make sure nobody's coming in and hijacking your chat. Um, to make sure people, I mean, somebody comes in and they don't get acknowledged for 7 to 8 minutes. You don't know how that might make them feel like, hey, you don't even care. But if you have a moderator, hey, welcome in, Will G, welcome in, Trish. You kind of feel welcome. Then you say hi to somebody, and then and then eventually I'll get down to you. But I try not to fall behind like that. Try not to. You do, Will G. We know you have. We can see your comments. We know you have experience. I know, Will G. But again, you're not going to be able to answer every question. I mean, if you ever watch those bigger channels, they don't answer every question or every question. And then a lot of them, if they do try to answer questions, they fall so far behind in the chat that you reading the chat and what they're talking about are two different things. I don't, me personally, I don't like that. If you say, hey, what's your favorite restaurant? If I ask a question, I want to be towards the end of the chat so I can see when people start writing in the answers. And that way, the chat is one of your best friends. They help you keep going, especially when people ask questions or Will G, like you do and some other people do. They have comments. you can respond to the comment and things like that. They could be. They could respond to people they know, to members of the channel. And again, if you had to pick one, I'm responding to a member of my channel. You know, that's you want to make sure that those are the people that are supporting you financially. I mean, everybody's here supporting because they're here at your channel, but the ones that are your members, they're actually make here, take my money, and we like your channel so much, we take my money and keep doing what you're doing. You kind of want to acknowledge those people first. Luckily I'm not to that point yet. But I do. There are times my mind kind of run. I can't multitask like I used to. When I was younger, I was able to multitask, but now what I do a lot of times, like for my banter with Bill show, we'll say I have three screens. I have a screen right here. It has a YouTube page open and a Facebook page on because I broadcast on YouTube and Facebook. Over on this screen, I have my notes of what I want to talk about. And then I have the chat down here on this screen right here where I have StreamYard flowing and I can see the chat as it goes. And it tells you when you're behind the chat, it lets you know you're behind in the chat. And Will G says he understands. Yeah. You want to take care of the people that take care of you. How people do this and work a full-time job and kids, I don't know. I don't know. It's beyond me. I'm retired and trying to keep up with social media. Again, I'm old, so me and social media are not the best of friends, but I try. But how you do it is beyond me. I gotta tip my hat to you, Jennifer. I have to tip my hat to you because being able to find time to post, take care of the family, take care of your spouse, take care of the house, go to work, take care of the kids, create content, and then try to do a live or two without being boring. I mean, where do you find the time? It's tough for me. I'm a little lazy now, though. I mean, I could do a lot more if I had the energy and wanted to do it. But again, if I was, Trish, you have a job, take care. Oh, here's Trish. Hold on. It's really hard. I have a job, take care of my mom and school. I mean, my goodness. So you see how hard that would be to be able to put out content. But Trish, I will say this. See, some people they try to take an easy route and they put out let me choose my words correctly here because I don't want to say trash, but content that didn't take much effort and they put it out there. You, even though you're busy, you put out good content all the time. So if somebody clicks on your channel, they know they're going to get some good content. Everybody is not like that. I don't know whether you know that or not. Everybody's not like that. So if you can, keep doing what you're doing. I know it's tough. Eventually it'll pay off. The hardest part will be like watch hours because it's tougher to get watch hours unless see Trish, you have a unique channel. You have a unique skill like the hairstyles and hair care. So if you can catch on where people are watching your videos, you won't have to do lives. For me, I was doing cruising, and in the beginning, I had some videos that did pretty well and got me some watch hours and things like that. But if I wasn't cruising, I wasn't doing lives at the time either. If I wasn't cruising, I didn't have any content, and I wasn't doing lives. So it was like I'm just wasting time. It was like 2 or 3 months before my next cruise. So basically, I took 2 or 3 months off before I went to my next video. And oh, by the way, see me rambling like I'm doing right now. This is how you fall behind in the chat. So I see the chat going. I see some comments. Luckily, there's not many people in here, so I probably can keep up with it. But again, imagine if I had more people in here, and the chat is constantly moving, and I'm up here. Talking about a subject. But again, I'd rather Trish talk to you about you because I know it probably can get discouraging. And don't get discouraged because I think you're doing good. It's just a matter of you getting with the right group, the right people watching you, and I think you're going to take off eventually. Jennifer from Embarkation Nation, my mind is constantly running on how we can improve, but also all the other things I need to do. Yeah, and I always do that. I'm always thinking. I'm always looking at videos. I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking ahead to uh, my next cruise and beyond. Will G, it takes a lot, and people that don't do it don't really understand it. They think it's easy, but when you see somebody and you look at the video and you see like a quality video, it has the transitions, the music fits right. You hear those little like when you see that subscribe and then they push the button and it dings, you have to go in there and physically do all that. So it takes time. You got to line that up just right to hear that sound. It takes work. It takes time to edit videos. And a lot of people don't understand that. But because of life, as you said, people back off, you know. Ooh, okay. Trish is going to go live Saturday. Trish, you got to let us know when. I'm supposed to participate in the hypathon. I don't think I've ever participated in that. I always said I was going to, but I just never have. Oh, that is going to be good, Trish. That group is wonderful and supporting. Yep, I agree with Will G. So yeah, a lot of times I always try to encourage people to just keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully you like what you're doing. For me, I like what I'm doing. I get frustrated at times, especially I had a malfunction. Actually, I didn't. I had a user error and wound up deleting a lot of content, and I wasn't able to put out videos like I wanted to. I tried to put out a couple of videos with clips and things that I could put together. I didn't like the quality of it. I want people. I want people when they look at my video to say that now they may be bored, but it's going to be like, well, he did put some effort into it though, if that makes sense. You may not like it, but it's like, well, he tried, he did something. Uh, Not knocking other people that do it, but like doing a and if you've done it again, it's not a knock against you if anybody in here has done it, but you know how you do a live stream at night and you're sleeping or something like that. I don't understand. I mean, I understand it, but I don't know if I could do that. The only way that I could do that would be is if I'm really trying to get watch hours. But I think it hurts your channel in the long run because people see Jennifer from Embarkation Nation. Oh yeah, I went to that channel. They don't do nothing but sleep on that channel. I think it hurts your channel in the long run. But if you're trying to get monetized, well, you have to do what you have to do. Mia, welcome in, Mia. Thanks for coming in. Hola, my friend. Hola, ¿cómo está? Will G, I'm not that creative. But I do watch videos. I know what I and I'm always critiquing. If if you ever listen to me while I'm watching other people's video, you would think I'm the meanest guy out there in the world. And again, I don't consider myself mean, but I do look at things that how could you improve? How, in my opinion, and that's the beauty of YouTube. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody do things differently. So everything is different. But I always look at videos of from my eye of how I would do that differently. And no matter whose video it is, that's what I do. Steph sells stuff by the seashore. Hold on, wait a minute. I am in Michigan. Go Lions. Nobody thought they could do it, but they did it. I appreciate you coming in here, Steph. From the sounds of that, it sounds like you might be from Michigan also. And I have a problem because if you ask me a question, I'm assuming you want my answer. And what I've come to realize is a lot of people don't want that answer. They want you to say, "Great job, perfect video, great. You're the next Van Gogh of YouTube videos." And that's not me. I try to be supportive, and I'm not going to, hey, it was trash. Well, I mean, again, if you're doing the best that you can, you're doing the best that you can. But I would do this. I would do that. I would try this. I would try that, and see what you think, and explain to people. I also, instead of just saying it, I always also try to explain why I do that. One thing that I dislike in videos is when people have a camera and they pan really fast. First of all, I get motion sickness, and when you pan really fast and back and spin around, you're on the dance floor and bouncing around. It makes me nauseous. If I watch it too long, it makes me nauseous. That's a me problem. Now, some people may like that, live action shot like that. I'm not one of them. But again, when I talk to people, then people think, well, you're attacking that person, or you're doing this, or you're doing that, and it's not. No, you asked me a question, what I thought, and I just told you what I thought. You know, it if you ask me a question and I don't give you an answer, or I just say something simple like, "Thanks for sharing," or something like that, that means I really wasn't into it, and you're not gonna be happy. But if I tell you that, hey, I like that video, I like the way you did your transitions, man, that was a nice beach or something, that means I actually care, and I'm trying to um, give you the support that you need. Whoops. I lived there recently in Ann Arbor, 2017 to 2021. I fell madly in love with Michigan and miss it terribly. Okay. I kind of want to go someplace a little bit warmer, but Michigan is Michigan, and um, it's not the worst. As I get older, I want warmer weather. Will G, thanks for coming in. Good night. If you have to go to work tomorrow, don't work too hard. I'm going to make Andrew a cheat sheet for our live schedule. Yeah. Well, you want to know when you're going live. I mean, again, your situation, Jennifer, because it's hard for you to be consistent because of your work hours, and family commitments and things like that. So it's a little harder for you to commit. But having like a set time where you get the same people, and they know that you're coming on. It's like the astute tourist is, first thing in the morning. Then Eddie, is coming on, and then together we cruise. They come on after that, and when you know that, you kind of make it a habit to go there. So that's where I think the fixed time helps. Steph, I'm I'm in warm weather, San Diego. I trade the weather for the people any day. Steph, you have the perfect weather out there. It's like 70 degrees year round. Don't you have like the perfect weather? Everybody wants to go to San Diego. Not too hot, not too cold, just perfect year round. So yeah, and trying to work on your craft, even like doing lives. Uh, I try not to go too much or just yeah and no response. I try to like add humor to it. I try to laugh and joke. I try not to be too silly with the humor, but enough to try to um keep people interested. And a joke here, a joke there. So I try. Whoa, San Diego, but everyone is stressed and snotty, not friendly. Really? I never would have pictured that about San Diego. I've always wanted to go out there. I always wanted to go to the San Diego Zoo. I'm trying to make it out there one of these days for the San Diego Zoo. I never thought about that about San Diego. I haven't at least I haven't heard that. But I know it's expensive to live out there. I had a chance to move out there, oh, back when I was probably about 27 or 28. I probably should have, but I had family here and I didn't want to, leave family and all that good stuff. But if I wish I would have been out there because now it's just so expensive. A poor little retiree like me could never afford it out there. The zoo is cool. So yeah, again, I like having these little impromptu conversations with people and trying to explain to people, why I do what I do and um, try to find out why other people do what they do. Michigan is relaxed. In most parts it's affordable, and you got the Great Lakes. Again, we have a lot of beaches here. The only thing I don't like is the Great Lakes. They're a little too chilly for me to enjoy. I love the Caribbean in the summertime, the Gulf of Mexico in the summertime. That's what I love. I love warm weather to go swimming. Well, I love the water to be warmer. Some people say like bath water, but yeah, I do like that. I know Will G is gone, but he was talking about like computer and setup and all the other good stuff. It's so funny. It's always something. I went and got the microphone. So when I'm talking, I did it for two reasons. So when I'm talking on live, it sounds better, and then when I'm doing voiceovers on my videos, that it sounds better. It's a better sound. And then I need to work on my lighting because a lot of people don't like the rings in my eye. Uh, I'm not that against it because I understand it, but I also understand how some people just don't like it. Usually, people that don't like it, they don't wear glasses. I could do that too, but then I couldn't read the chat. Nope, can't read it. So what else is going on in the YouTube universe? I well, I could ask you guys. Let me take a sip of my soda. And I'm from the north. It's really I call it pop, but because I'm talking to people that are not from up north, I'm gonna say soda. Jennifer says, mine too when I take mine off. I'm legally blind when I take mine off. My goodness. I'm legally blind. I needed bifocals. I needed like reading glasses. So I used to, wear contacts all the time. But since I needed bifocals, it was like, why not just wear glasses instead of always having to carry reading glasses around? What to what to you make? Oh, what to me makes a good video? Like what elements? I think like telling a story, and I'm trying to get better at that. Some people are really good at that, telling a story. I know in my head how I want my video to play out, and I'm going to try to start doing it. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Hold that thought, Jennifer. Hold that thought. Lions in the Super Bowl next year. You mean well this NFL season? So in 24, January or February of 24 Super Bowl, because Chris, they're going to the Super Bowl this year. I mean, again, I didn't want to brag too much. I didn't want to talk because people, they get all the haters out there. Just like tonight when the Lions going to win. Oh, the Lions they're not going to win. Yeah. See again, made a couple bucks on people today. Chris, how are you doing tonight? Anyway, I'm gonna get back to what I like a video that like tells a story. Okay, Chris. Now see, we're on the same page. We're on the same page with that 2024. I like a video, Destination Fun. They kind of do it where you start the video out and you have clips of what's going on in the video, or you come on and say, basically, hey, this I had a great time in Cozumel. You're not going to believe the time that I had. Stay tuned and watch what's coming up, and kind of go from the clips to that to the intro to the video. And I like that setup like that, and but try not to do the same thing for every cruise port. Try to make it different. I have a bad habit of what I do. I woke up in the morning, I got breakfast, I got off the ship and went to port. This is what I did at the port without putting any without making it personalized. And I want to, but this is where having two people, Jennifer, you just don't know how well you have it. Because when you have two people, you can have one person there filming you as you tell your story and not have to set up a tripod. I'm not really comfortable with the tripod setup by myself, acting out a scene and then getting the tripod in front of people. I really am not I'm not comfortable with doing that. But that's what I need to do. Or you can do like everybody else, hold the camera at arm's length and you talking, walking and at the same time. But you kind of want to improve it. But it's just a certain format that flows for me. It's a lot easier. Like if you're doing like, some people do mukbangs, doing a mukbang to me, it seems easy. Maybe it's not. First of all, I don't like people watching me eat, but to me, that's easy. And I don't quite understand it. I understand doing food reviews, but like watching people eat or watching people chew ice or listen, what is ASMR, where you listen to people chew stuff. I've never quite understood that. So I don't know. Jennifer, did I answer your question? In making a video, I like to put transition. A transition is when you change scenes. It's a transition from one scene to the other. I don't like I don't like hard transitions. Meaning I have one clip of me at the beach, and then the next one I'm back on the ship. So when you look at it, you go immediately from the beach to the ship. I like to put a transition in there where it fades out and then it fades back into you being on the ship, or you turn a page somehow where there's a transition into being on the ship. That's I'm a big stickler of that. I probably overdo it in my videos, but I don't like hard transitions. I don't like hard cuts. Uh, even at the end when it ends, I want it to be like a smooth ending. And even my music, which it takes practice, but when you're playing a clip, and I don't know how many people in here edit, but if you plan a clip and you're about to start talking, I don't like the hard cut off of the music, then start talking, and then the hard cut of the music coming back in. I want to fade it out, start talking, and then fade the music back in. And again, it all of this takes time, and I'm not a very patient person. So sometimes I don't do it, and I go against my own best interest, I think. But again, I've had videos that I thought I put out that were not very good, trash in my opinion, that did well. And then I had other videos that I thought I hit a home run with, and they didn't go anywhere. So I'm trying to get better with my thumbnails, uh, to catch people's attention. Andrew isn't a fan of my music choice. I I probably spend way too much time choosing music. I probably spend way too much time choosing music, but I do. I think music sets the tone. Well, and I mean that's a shame that you guys being a power couple, uh, not agreeing on a music choice. So how do you decide who um who wins as far as the music? Then if he doesn't like your music, I'm assuming he has music in mind. How do you decide who picks the music for your videos, Jen? My beard. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep growing my beard out. My whole goal, I did a live today, earlier today, and I think I got up to 30 people in there, and I think I averaged 23, and I felt pretty good about that. I and Jennifer, I mean, we've talked about it before, but I have 1,200 subscribers, and I think like for a live, for your premieres and things like that, I think having like 1%, right around 1%, a little bit under, a little bit over 1% of your subscribers in your lives or in your premieres is about average, is about where you should be. So I have 1,200. 1% is 12. So I was happy to see where I had like 30 at one time, and I averaged 23. To me, I'm doing well. I averaged like double what I think was good. Um, not that it means a whole lot because again, it's still just a few people. But if I can keep that number growing, and that's my goal is to keep that number growing to where I get more people interested in my videos, in my lives, and me talking and rambling and doing things like that. I think I'm going in the right direction. I see a lot of people put a interest on number of subscribers, and I don't understand why. I'm still trying to work on that one as far as why. And I think if I ask people that that they would get offended. And I'm not, again, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I want to know why you care how many subscribers you have when it's really YouTube is about how many viewers that you have. I mean, for some people, maybe to say that I have 10,000 subscribers. But to me, it's more important. I'd rather have 3% of my subscribers in my chat than 10,000 subscribers and have 0.01% of people in my chat. So, I mean, again, whenever you hear me talking about my channel and things like that, I appreciate everybody that stops by. I appreciate everybody that subscribes. However, what I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to get viewers. Uh, that to me, that's how your channel grows is word of mouth and people saying, "Hey, Warmstrong did this, Warmstrong did that. Did you hear what Warmstrong was talking about? Well, Warmstrong has a video coming out." That's what I want to get, going. And to me, that's more important than saying, "Hey, I picked up, 30 subscribers yesterday." Did your views and pick up? Um, After I came off my long cruise, I lost my videos, so I wasn't able to put out content. So I can see my views going down. It's like I'm not averaging the views, but again, I'm not really putting out content. I'm doing lives, but I'm not really putting out content. So I don't have the views. But again, I'm not gonna I don't want to artificially inflate my views. And if I'm not putting out content, well, again, I mean, my viewers aren't going to my subs aren't going to grow, but I'm okay with that. But my lives, even though I haven't been doing that, my lives have been growing. Not everyone is a home run. Not everyone, has 30 people in it, things like not everyone. But again, what I'm trying to do is my 1% rule. 1%. If you got 2,000 subscribers, to me, my if I had 2,000 subscribers, I want 20 people in my lives and at my premieres. 1%. That's not that much. 1%. Jennifer, I agree. The watch hours are what is challenging to us. We lost 20 the other night from a video a year ago, and those hills are up and down. It is. People probably thought I was crazy, but when I was trying to get monetized, I mean, I was on morning, noon, night because I didn't want to go up that uphill battle. Luckily, I was retired and I was able to do that. I didn't have small kids. I didn't have to worry about that. I'm not married, so I didn't have to worry about the wife. That is hard. And after that year, they start taking away from videos that you did. And for me, when I first started putting out videos, some of my best videos as far as views are early in my YouTube career. So that means I would have been losing a bunch of hours. And I'm like, I don't want to go through that. I don't want to go through that. So what do I have to do? Beg, borrow, and steal for watch hours, coming on live at the middle of the night. And luckily for me, I had a little crew that would come on middle of the night with me and hang with me while I'm up here just rambling like I'm doing now. And I I was lucky that way. Um, I didn't, again, didn't care how many people were there. I'm just, if I'm on for an hour and I got 5 or 6 people in there, that's 5 or 6 more hours. And I did that till I finally reached my hours. And luckily, I did that exactly 1 year to the day that I started doing YouTube. So I was lucky, and I didn't have to go through those ups and downs. And once you get monetized, they really don't care about your watch hours. They just want to see that you're still producing, that you're still an active channel. So there's not like, well, you fell below your 4,000, and they don't care about that. I do try to still produce like my live, even like right now, my lives. I am going to try to start creating videos like I did a topic today of basically safety tips for being on a cruise ship, tips to keep you safe. I'm probably going to try to turn that into just a regular video that I talk about, in right here, and talk about it and make it a video instead of being a live. A live, the problem with a live, and the reason why a lot of people probably do podcast is because with a live, you have to do an interaction with the audience. Let me go down here. Oh, nope, I read that one. You have to do interaction with the audience so it doesn't flow smoothly. But with a podcast, I could just read through my list of safety tips and give you my stories about safety tips and my pointers and my views without the having to, hey, welcome in such and such, hey, welcome in, and somebody asking like, a question that's off the wall, and it's like, well, do you just ignore it? Again, I don't have enough viewers where I can just ignore comments. So, you have to answer that question. So I see why people do podcasts, but it's a lot. It's a lot of work um, doing videos like that. It takes a lot of work, and a lot of times I don't have the patience. I probably have the time because, well, I'm retired, but it takes a lot of work. I don't understand why other people don't do it. I thought about doing like news cruise news every day, but it's just not me. It's just not me. And could I be consistent with every day doing it? Probably could grow your channel if you're good at it and knowledgeable about what you're talking about. You probably could grow your channel, but that is a commitment. That is a commitment. Jennifer says, "Huh, I understand that also." Mia, thank you for hanging in there. I appreciate you still being here. Thank you so much. What else, Jennifer? What else? What other topics can we talk about that I won't that I won't offend anybody with? My favorite play of the game tonight was the interception by the Lions, and they ran it back for a touchdown. That and the fourth down play at the end when the Lions, stopped them, held them, so they didn't get a first down. Even though the guy had his hands on the ball, if he had caught it, who knows what would have happened. But that was my those two were my favorite plays. I appreciate the touchdown by the Lions, but those two plays were big plays, big plays. It was a good game. I didn't know they were showing the game at Ford Field here. I should have went to Ford Field and watched the game. They had like a viewing party, a watch party I know that was a lot of fun. So, man, I enjoyed it. The Lions have a pretty young team. They have a lot of young players, which is good. Again, the problem with NFL teams now because of free agency and all that good stuff, can you keep a team together? And hopefully they keep the team together. But their offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, this year he turned down being possibly being a head coach, but next year he's probably gone. So then you have to start with another offensive coordinator. So a lot of changes. But again, the Lions this year, they Philadelphia has a pretty good team. I'm not a pretty good team. They actually have a great team, so they're going to be tough to beat. But we'll see. Lions and let's start off slowly. If we hopefully we can win our division, then win a playoff game. I hope we haven't done that in a while, so that would be a step in the right direction for the Lions. I'm looking at this. I have Nightbot. I have to re evaluate my Nightbot. I don't have any Vegas plans. It all depends. I mean, I'm coming up with so many different cruises that I need money for. So I was planning on going like last week, but other things came up, so I didn't go. Then I was going, oh, let me go in October. I think Clock was going in October, but then I booked a cruise for November, and it's like, well, I got a cruise in October and cruise in November. I said, I gotta save some money for some of these cruises. So we'll see. I may go out there for a little bit just to see what's going on in Vegas. I haven't been out there in so long. Vegas got so expensive. Vegas got so expensive that I stopped going out there. I know, 24th for me, 24th of September. I think I only paid what 100, $200 on it. I don't know what I paid. So yeah, Vegas is very commercialized now, but that's a lot of things. I always thought about it. Have you ever, like noticed like some of the? Let me see. Boop. I look at the picture. Sometimes it doesn't look as clear of like you do when I see it on YouTube. I mean on Streamyard, it doesn't look as clear. I would love maybe to upgrade my plan one day and get like the where you have the 1080p. I have a 1080p camera on my laptop to be able to broadcast in 1080p instead of 720. I believe it's 720. Down the line, hopefully, and keep making money. I did. I did open a merch store up, as Jennifer knows, which was it's just weird. And never in a million years. First of all, I never would have thought I would have been on YouTube. And then you start talking about having like merch. I just never would have thought it. Yeah, interesting to see what if rooms open up for weather savings on Jubilee. Oh, either. Okay. Either. Okay. I'm always like weather. I'm assuming there's gonna be some. Again, I was thinking about it, and I'm still not 100% sure. But again, I'd like to go on a Jubilee. I start to think about my cruises now. I start to think about YouTube content on the Jubilee because it's a brand new ship, and this will be actually the first sailing. I hold on, about to clear everything off my phone, off my watch, because it's the first sailing. I want to try to get some content out there while a lot of people haven't been able to put the content out. I don't want to put out trash, but I want to get it out fast. So I'm trying to think ahead of time, like right now, of what I need to do to be able to do that. Haha, yes, it's very weird for us also. We mostly did it so we could have shirts for us. Yes, I did that just for that reason. Um, it'd be nice, even like for a giveaway or something. After a while, maybe do a giveaway and get a shirt. So I mean, there some something different. Yes, use also, but they are getting expensive. It's a weird concept on its own to strategically plan out videos for cruises and vacation. It turns it into work. But I literally on Booze Cruise, I had a interior cabin, and an interior cabin is an interior cabin is an interior cabin. An opportunity came up for an interior cabin, but it's one of the cheapest cabins that you can probably get on a cruise ship. It's on the first floor, and it's a upper lower interior. Upper lower, when I say upper lower, it means it has a twin bed that's on the ground and then one that comes off the ceiling. So you have an upper and lower berth. And it has a porthole. But another thing about this interior room is you have a lot of space. They also have a couch in there. So if you could imagine like the cheapest room that you can get, and there's a couch there, I think it's unique, and I think people would want to see that. I think people would want to see that room. Just like I heard somebody had a room with 2 bathrooms. Man, I would have loved to have gotten that. Um, because people like unique. One of my better videos, if not probably my best full videos, was an obstructed view on the Carnival Spirit. Obstructed view balcony on a Carnival Spirit. So I booked a cruise on MSC, and I picked it where it was a balcony. It was a balcony, but I let them pick the balcony for me. Well, the very next day, I guess they, hey, he doesn't care where he stays at. Let's give him the obstructive view balcony. They gave me an obstructive view balcony. Now, I probably could have called to try to change rooms, but I'm thinking YouTube, and I'm thinking, you know what? People will probably want to know what this room looks like, what an obstructive view balcony is on MSC. So, do you know what I did? I kept that room because I'm thinking about YouTube streets. So, am I messing up my vacation to get? Why isn't this coming up? Am I missing my vacation because I could have a good balcony with no obstruction? Huh. Why isn't that? That's weird. I'm trying to bring my brightness back up, and it won't let me do it. But anyway, so we will see, and I'm hoping it does as well as my other obstructive view cabin, went. But now I'm going through the process of thinking about the thumbnail. I know people always say, "Hey, make your thumbnail before you make your video." I never understood the concept. For this, I kind of understand the concept uh, of it, but I want to make it interesting enough where people want to see what it's like, and I think that's what I'm going to try to do. So if I can get a unique cabin, I will probably always do that instead of just the regular same old run of the mill. I mean, a balcony is a balcony is a balcony. Have something a little bit different. An interior is an interior is an interior. Something a little bit different. If I can get a suite, now that's something that's unique. A lot of people don't have that. So anyway, I'm always thinking something like that. So the Jubilee, because it's a brand new ship, the Glory, because well, I think I have the cheapest room available, and also the MSC is a obstructive view balcony, which I really don't care about the balcony or not. It's nice to have, but I could do it. If you told me the balcony was, I could save $800 or $900 and have an interior room, I'd save the $900 and have the interior room. I heard somebody talking to Ann again. I forget what chat it was. A lot of times I go into chats and I don't say anything and I don't respond, but they were talking about, different cabins and suites and all this other stuff. And see, I've had every type of cabin other than an ocean view. For me, if I have an ocean view where I can't open the window, I might as well have an interior room. So either I have an interior room or a balcony. On when I do Allure of the Seas, I'll have my first ocean view room. That's not technically true either. My interior room on the cheapest room on Carnival Glory is an interior room, but it has a porthole, which I mean you can't see a whole lot out the porthole, but it's an interior room with a porthole. I think it's a unique room, and it's up to me to bring out the uniqueness of that cabin in my video. Whoops. I wish we could go on MSC. We discussed it today, but Andrew doesn't have enough leave. Trust me, I understand. I understand. And Jennifer, you know what else I do in my videos now? I try to hype up my videos and hype up stuff, and you're gonna want to see this. And I'm not really good at being a hype man, but I'm trying. I mean, that's another unique thing that I'm trying to do is hype up my own stuff, talk about my own stuff. Again, that was never me to like brag on my stuff. I could do it with other people. Hey, go check out their great video, but I could never tell you, hey, come over to my video. It's a great video. You can't miss it. That was never me. I'm changing that. Come to my live tomorrow. You're not gonna want to miss it. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be a lot of information. Come on by. Make sure hey, do a Bama Nola, tell your friends, tell the neighbor, tell the Coast Guard, tell everybody, come on by. I'm trying to get better at doing that. And again, today, as I said, I got up to like 30 in my chat and I averaged 23. So did it work? Did it help pay off? Going on people's lives and talking about it and trying to get people to come by. And when I go on lives now, I try to do that. Um, unless if somebody asks me on the panel and they're talking about the topic that I'm going to talk about. I don't want to give away I'm going to talk about in my live on their live, because people might not want to hear the same stories 2 or 3 times, but I try. I think you do a great job. Our goal last few months have been better thumbnails. I'm trying to do that. Bigger words to catch attention. The thumbnail for this live chat. Are you safe on a cruise ship? Have the big caution tape up there. I need to take more pictures because I'm using the same pictures over and over again. So I need to do some more pictures where I can, impose my face in the thumbnail. So, but I am working on it. Thank you. I appreciate you telling me about the, great job. I'm trying to get better with the lives, and that's anybody lives that I go into. Sometimes I feel like I'm taking over. If I go in your live or I go in Betty's live or something, and I see the chat's dying down or viewers are leaving or something like that, I try to come on and say something to try to get people to stick around and want to listen to the chat. For me, it's easier when I start talking about cruising and things like that than other topics. But that's what I want to get into. I want people to, hey, they know Warmstrong. We don't know much about him, but we know that he likes to talk, which is not really true. I mean, I'm working at it, but I don't like tonight. I've had like a lot of pauses and a lot of and this. That's just because I'm just rambling on now, with nothing better to do. It's been an hour and a half, and I literally talked about nothing. So, but I'm working on that gift of gab where, hey, you want to talk about a subject? Let's talk about it. If you want to talk about tech on a cruise ship, you want to talk about cruise ports, you want to talk about the help, the whatever you want to talk about. Let's talk about it and make it interesting. You got me. You got me on that. You got me on the lighthouses. But again, I told you how I felt about that. I appreciated that more than a lot of other topics that people talk about on these channels, on these lives. And I know we joke. I know you get a little sensitive about that probably, but I appreciate the effort. That's what you have to do. When Scott and I talked about eating like a celebrity on a cruise ship, I was not feeling good about that topic. We didn't do bad, but I did not feel good about that topic. But I'm gonna sit up there and talk about it. And when you hear me talk about it, you won't know that because of the way I'm talking about it. But I didn't feel good about it. Today's topic, I felt better about, and again, I think it showed. But again, by me going on live on Wednesday with Scott, that that gives me time to hype up my show for Thursday and try to get people to want to come over. So when I go Wednesday, I have to talk. I have to make people they want to listen to what I have to say, and so I do that on that show, and then they come on Thursday. So hopefully that cycle continues where it goes back to next Thursday, or I'm sorry, next Wednesday. Now they want to come to Wednesday and see me and Scott, and then more people come in there. Well, now I'm guiding those same people to my Thursday show. Let's see. You aren't always someone to drop in, and you also aren't someone to drop in and say going live in 30 minutes and then leave. I'm sorry. Let me read that again. You also aren't someone to drop in and say going live. Oh, other people. No, no, no. No. I, I don't like that. Yeah, there's a few things, and there's a few people do that, and there's a certain etiquette that you should follow. So if I'm in your live, if you ask me if I'm going live like right after you or something like that, I would tell you. But if you're on live, say hmm, say you come on at 10 to 11, at 10:30 I'm going live. I'm not going to hop in your chat and say, "Hey, I got to drop now. I'm going live now." To me that's not the proper etiquette, because it's like you're trying to steal people that are in my chat away from me. And I noticed some people doing that, and I don't like it. Uh, I've never felt that way. We appreciate you. Aw, haha, no hour-long conversation about lighthouses with no questions. See again, it's tough. It's tough because nobody really knew about lighthouses. So that just makes it tough, or made that conversation tough. And I had no clue. I literally went through my pictures while I was on there trying to find pictures of lighthouses. If I could have found a picture of a lighthouse, I could have probably told you a story about a lighthouse, but I never found one. The one I was looking for, I saw a lighthouse and it was on a black sand beach, and I couldn't find that picture. It's probably a picture one of the pictures I deleted or something. But um, trying to make conversation, and that was a tough one. Yeah. Well, again, that's probably a good topic. Jennifer, I watched that video, the treasure video. It really did it really did make me want to go on the cruise. My daughter called about it, and she said she found the cruise for like $6,000. I forget when. It was like April. I forget when she said April 25. I don't know when she said she found it for about $6,000, and she was sounding like you, and I'm like $6,000. I'm like, how long is this cruise? $6,000. What are you made of money? But again, in my head, I'm thinking, and I watched that video. I may, I may. Oh, if my daughter goes on that ship, I may. I may try. I definitely not the 10,000. Not the 10,000. But I don't know if I can get it for a single passenger, $3,000, $3,500 range. Oh, that's a lot of money. But I would like to try it. I mean, Disney does it right, and even that video, the hype video, it really it made me want to go. It made me want to go. It was just, I mean, again, it was just fun talking to you about it. Let me take off my hat. It was fun talking to you about it, but again, I understood what you were talking about. I understood, even though we had fun at talking about you. It's expensive, but again, you're taking out like another cruise or two. As long as you know that, maybe the content the content would be incredible, but I don't think you can make it back. Content would be incredible, but I don't know if you can make it back. Um, but who knows? That might be the video that is the breakout video for the channel. There's just no way I could pay 10,000 though. I mean, I know it'd be a little, that was for three, so I know it'd be a little cheaper. I would have to pay for two, so I know it would be a little cheaper. But yep, nope. You come up with these topics and trying to be able to talk about it. And it's good when you get people like Will G in the chat, and he's asking questions, he's talking about it because he knows about cruising. And I love being around knowledgeable people talking cruising. I love it. And they can see when you're dying off, and they'll bring up a question about a cruise, or things like that. But and again, I always have to be kind of careful when I say stuff because people take it the wrong way, and it's not personal, but people take things personal. But if you don't have anything to say, you rely on telling the same jokes over and over again. And I'm trying not to be like that. It may work for some people. It just doesn't work for me because I think people eventually get tired of it, and and they'll stop showing up eventually. You have to produce some kind of content. You have to talk about something that's unique and different, even if it's not cruise related. The problem you have, if it's not cruise related, you lose the cruising crowd, which is what we all want. But coming up with content is so tough. I mean, I've been thinking about well, I shouldn't say all night, but after I got off my live, I'm thinking about what my next topic is going to be for next Thursday, and trying to come up with something that's unique. I'm thinking about doing port safety. I did cruise ship safety this time. Got into a little bit of the port safety also. Do I go back and rehash that, or try to find another topic? And I may try to do that. I need to work on that as well. It comes with time. It comes with time. And for the longest, my son, again, God, I want to smack him upside the head sometimes, but he is right. He's not really into content creating and things like that, but he has a vision for it. He has an understanding about it, and I need to listen to him more. I'd listen to him, but when he starts talking about things, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to implement what he's talking about. I say it's hard. It's not hard. It takes effort. Uh, what he says is when I do my videos, I try to sound smart. I'm like, no, no, I just talk, and I kind of understand what he's talking about. I need to do more of my rambling speech pattern when I'm talking on my videos about the cruise ship and about the disco and all this. Instead of doing a voiceover, and this was a disco on Saturday night. Oh, what a party! Go on there and talk like I would talk if I was just rambling like I am right now. Um, and I understand it. Now, can I implement that? Like on my next video, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. But I do understand it, and I do see like a lot of the videos that do well. A lot of it comes from people that I want to say real, that people can connect to on a personal level. And I think it's easier to connect with people on a personal level when you talk like that, instead of like you're talking from a script, or you're just talking like oh, again, as my son would say, talking like you're trying to be smart. So again, there's so many things to work on in YouTube. It's not even funny. I mean, Really, the reason I came on tonight, Jennifer, was just so I could sit here and talk to you for a second. I probably should have called, but I said, let me come on here and talk. But again, I'm gonna try when I do my introductions and stuff like that. Instead of trying to sound smart, talk like I normally talk, rambling, and we'll see how that works out. That is interesting. Interesting take, but he could be right. One thing that makes you unique is your rambling or honest feedback. Yeah, and I don't know. I'm gonna try it. He's been right. He's been right more than he's been wrong, and I appreciate it. And I argue with him. I wind up going. I wind up going to what he says, but it's after usually it's after a fight. But a lot of times I go back to what he says and different things like that. So yeah, I'm trying to listen to him. I'm gonna try to be more outgoing on my videos, uh, and we'll see. I mean, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. But it's funny because when I watch other people videos, man, I can critique those left and right. But again, I do that with mine, and I don't like my videos. I mean, it's like, oh man, I should have did this, I should have did that, or why did you do that? Why'd you, anyway. He cares and has your best interest. That is the best person to have in your corner. Yeah, well, I mean, he, yes, but he's not afraid. He's not afraid to tell me what I need to hear and not what I want to hear. See, what I want to hear is, Dad, that was a great video. Man, that thumbnail you put out, that was the perfect thumbnail. Um, but he'll tell you, hey, did you do that? You know, did you notice, you're using the same pictures over and over again? So he's telling me what I really need to hear, but am I listening to him? That's the real question because, well, now I got to take pictures. Well, now that's going to take effort. You got to, you know, do the clothes, do the pictures. So I don't really care about the background that much because most of the time I'm going to cut the background out anyway. But like the facial expressions and all this other good stuff. So who knows? We'll see. I do the same thing about overthinking it. I thought about pulling our video we had ready for Sunday to change it. Oh, I've done that before. I'm thinking about putting that Maui video out now that it's kind of sort of back to normal. I'm thinking about maybe putting that Maui video out. But again, I wasn't very happy with that video either. So I don't know. I hate trying to piece together things, but I also know I need to put content out. Yes, we need to do the same. I need to stand Andrew in the corner and do a facial expression photo shoot. Yes, just so you can break it up and put different pictures in there. And I know it. I just refuse to do it. Oh, I can find a picture. I can delete the background. I'll figure it out. But again, I re-looked at that Maui video. I would cut out I would I would do the whole thumbnail over again. Take out the part about pray for Maui and just put out a Maui video. Um, Redo the thumbnail The video again, I didn't talk much in it. Do I go back and do a voiceover? I might take a look at it again. But again, I do want to put out some content. If I can do that, if I can just make it to August. I'm sorry, October, and then I can have video again. And I will definitely make enough content from the booze cruise where I could put out, 5 videos, whether it be, doing food reviews, whether it be doing, the show reviews or whatever, and do that. And that will take me to November. And I get on with Clock. The great thing about having with Clock was um, I have somebody that I could actually have to do video to videotape me. So while I'm doing something, I can actually have him there to videotape me, which I really like that. I actually, if Clock, uh, didn't get his sign on and didn't sign up for that thing, I was thinking about telling him, hey, if you want to join me, you can. We get twin beds and come on if he doesn't mind me snoring because I know I snore a lot. But it's like I really I don't care. I mean, again, as long as we're kind of sort of on the same page. I know he's like a kind of a morning person. It sounds like, and I'm not. So as long as he understands that, hey, get up if you want to be a morning person. Get up, get out the room, let me sleep, and then at night, if you're in bed, I stay out until I'm ready to go to bed, and I don't come in and disturb you. So we can kind of come up with that understanding. I think it would have worked, but he got his own room, so we're good. And now, not that we're going to do everything together, but we will be able to do some things together. And if we go eat together, I can have somebody across the table from me videotaping me getting my food or me pointing out my food or whatever I'm doing without setting the camera up on the table. So I'm really looking forward to this. He doesn't know it yet. I'm putting him to work. He doesn't even know it yet. The booze cruise is collaborations and ideas would be good. Yeah, I mean, we can sit and actually, talk about doing collaboration and maybe going live from the cruise ship one day. Again, I don't know again, I don't know what his plans are and things like that, but I know I'm gonna have the internet, so hopefully we can we can do something. And again, I don't know how good the internet is, but we can do that. We do something on a booze cruise. Again, for whatever reason, and it's probably because I talk a lot. I talk a lot, and I'm somewhat knowledgeable. And I see that's gonna come off as like I'm bragging or something, but I'm not really bragging. But it's just a fact. But that's why a lot of people, want me to come up and talk, is because they know I'm not gonna do anything crazy. I'm not gonna talk crazy, but I'm gonna have a conversation and be able to talk about pretty much whatever comes up. So on a booze cruise, I'm sure that it'd be easy to get people. Hey, somebody want to come over here and chat with me and whatever. I'm sure it'd be easy to get people to do that. And then I'll return the favor for them and get on theirs. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. We'll see how it works out. But I am excited about that and meeting people. You meet them online for some reason, like the Naughty Cruiser. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought. he had like 10,000 subscribers and all this other good stuff. You know, but he didn't. But again, you can see where he puts the effort into his videos. You know, you can definitely see the effort that he puts into the videos, and I like that. I can pick his brain, watch him work, and hopefully learn something. And not just him, but everybody else. I think his videos are more like kind of videos that I'm looking forward to doing, and um, showing different things on the ship without a prolonged. Uh, I don't want to get in the habit of like here's the production show and showing 10 minutes of the production show. I want to break it up. I want to hit the production show, but I don't want to do a long where that makes up like the majority of my video. Naughty and Scott McNeil are on the Jubilee with us, and I'm excited for that. Yeah, yeah. I think there's a lot to learn. I think there's a lot to learn, but I'm looking at it. Who's the third? Jennifer, who's the other third person in here? I'm sure it's probably like my son or somebody who just has it on, playing, or somebody just in the bushes, which is fine. I do that a lot, especially if I'm watching from my phone because I can't type. I don't like typing on my phone, and I just giving a little support and being there. I'm just surprised people are up. It's 2:20, Jennifer. I'm surprised you're up. But I am. I'm giving it thoughts. I have a notepad where I'm going to try to not necessarily script out what I'm doing, but try to write ideals down that I want to try, that I want to do, and not fall into the habit of trying to do the same thing the same way. I am heading to bed soon. I really enjoyed bouncing ideas with you. Oh, that's good. I enjoy doing the same, Jennifer. Yeah, just let me know when you're ready to go. You getting off right now? I'm be getting on right behind you. Because again, as I said, mostly I just want to sit here and chit chat with you. I just don't like. I'd rather talk than type. It probably would have been just as easy just to call you or whatever. But uh, I always enjoy our conversations. And you talk for me when I talk out ideals. It helps me think about the um, the clarity of what I want to do. I'm a little tired right now, so my thoughts are a little fragmented right now. But uh, when I get up tomorrow, I'll start rethinking about how I want to do it. My next topic, what I want to talk about. It's tough when you're by yourself, but I don't want to fall in the habit of depending on somebody else. And that's like with you guys. I know you guys are doing it for watch hours and things like that, but I don't. Do you really want to be dependent on somebody else with your ideals? And I'm not talking about like your joint thing where you guys are introducing the smaller channels out there. Uh, but do you always want to have somebody there with you? And I'm not talking a spouse, or a significant other. But do you always want somebody out there? And I'm trying to get away from that. I may start doing it a little. I may start asking people to come up a little bit more, maybe. But again, I don't want to become dependent on somebody else. Like with Scott. I don't want to. I don't want to do like another show with Scott. I don't want to have do another live with somebody else. I want people to look at me and say, hey, that's Warmstrong. I like what he's talking about. I want to watch Warmstrong. So you don't you can just fall dependent on somebody too easily. I almost called you, but didn't want to keep you up too late because I always say I won't keep you long. Yeah, I'm always up. Well, I shouldn't say always. 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. When I get off here, I'll probably get on my phone for a second, see how my videos is. I put out a short. It was like something about game day or something, and had Tom Cruise running. It got 1,700, 1,800 views. I was like, okay. I was trying to find the right picture of the Lions winning tonight to put that out there, but I couldn't find the right picture with the right CapCut video. So, yep. Well, that's about it, everybody. I am going to get ready to call this a night. And Jennifer, it was a pleasure. Everybody else that came in here, thank you for being here so much. No, I understand. We have had that conversation also about always being live as a group. We have fun with y'all, but I also like how natural it is when I am with Andrew rambling. Yes, I do too. When you get too many people, even like Bruce's show, I probably should have asked Bruce, "Hey, Bruce, who do you have on your show ahead of time?" When you start getting like 6 people up there, that's to me that's too many people. I mean, it worked, but it was too many people, and you kind of wanted to limit your answers. So it's like you kind of like answer the question. You're running around, going, "Hey, you answer this question. You answer that question. You answer this question." And that format I didn't necessarily like. Um, just because I mean, again, I like the show. I just thought it was too many people. I think it would have flowed better with maybe 2 people, 2 guests, and that way when somebody talked about something like Naughty Cruiser, he had a lot to say. I mean, I can listen to him talk all night. Um, but other people maybe not so much. So again, you live and you live and learn. And again, people choose their lives the way they want to run their lives. So um, who knows? Who really knows? Andrew and I sometimes have opposite opinions, so I feel like others can agree with one or the other. Yeah, and well, that's going to happen. I mean, people are going to when it's 2 of you. That's the thing about going solo. See, you don't have to make those decisions. It's I want to do it this way. It's going to be done that way. It's harder in another aspect, but it's easier in others. And I mean, you guys have to come to an agreement. One of you is going to have to give in. But like when you do lives, I mean, it's what you want is to have disagreements at times where you guys can banter back and forth of why we should do this or why we shouldn't do that. And I think people really like that. You know, I don't like it when people are always negative. Like I mean, just every time one of them says something, the other one it's an argument every time. But I do like banter every now and then. Uh, Treasure. Oh, I want to go on Treasure. No, I don't want to go. It's too expensive. No, we can make it work. We can give up another cruise. But see that kind of banter. But again, I don't want that with every topic. Every time somebody says something, it's always like a shot, a put down every time. Um, it just gives to me it's just bad optics. A married couple always bickering about everything, and can't agree. But again, no, I like you guys because Most of the time you agree on most things, but then there's a couple of things. Disney Treasure, probably Lighthouses, but again, it's that's good for the channel. But again, what do I know? I have 1,200 subscribers, and I'm trying to get 20 people in my live. So I may not know as much as I think I know. That's what I was saying. He has different experiences and thoughts that sometimes I have wild ideas. One of the problems is, and I'm going to tell you this right now. One of the problems is, and this is where going on everybody's live, all this good content, all these good conversations that you're having on somebody else's live. All that's all that good information you're giving out, which is why me and Bruce, it's like he wanted to talk about whatever he wanted to talk about. I forget what it was, ports or whatever it was. And it's like I'm doing that, Thursday. So I go on his show Tuesday, but I'm not giving an A game. Now, I don't want to give too bad of a game because I want people to be interested in what I'm doing. But it's like I'm giving out my information on somebody else's show. And I'm trying to avoid doing that. Sometimes I think I scare him with. So I was thinking, huh, you scare Bruce, or you scare Andrew. Well, the problem you have, and again, I know you're getting ready to go because you got lives. The problem you have is now you're telling the same stories over and over again. So now you're on your channel and you're telling the same story, and it's like, well, you told it already, and I've heard that story before. So I mean, doing a lot of lives. I try to cut down on doing a lot of lives. I don't mind like doing yours, but again, yours some lives where they kind of want you to carry the conversation. And now you want to carry the conversation, but now you're actually using up material that you use on your own channel. So you don't want to overlook your own channel. And I understand, you're trying to get watch hours. Um, and I mean, again, we'll talk about it, but again, even like you and Scott with that cahoots, I keep going over my head. And again, I mean, again, it's not a shot or anything like that, so don't take it personal. But are you better off doing a show by yourself and getting the watch hours, or are you better off doing a show with somebody and splitting the watch hours and splitting the group? And I was kind of watching today, even though it was a football Sunday or football Thursday, going back, and I'm talking to myself. It's like, is this something that Jennifer and Andrew could do by themselves, or is this something Scott could do by himself? See, Scott has a lot of ideas, and he does his podcast. Scott probably should think about doing some shows, by himself. Uh, in my opinion, I think he could. I think he could do a good talk show by himself. I think he's probably a little nervous of doing that. I think he's a little nervous of doing that, and maybe you guys are too. But when it starts to grow, those are your people, those are your hours, and it's your experience. Andrew, Andrew, because it's probably going to be expensive. Okay, I rambled on. What's going to be expensive? I missed that one, Jen. Oh, oh, I got you. When you start thinking, I got you. Yeah. Well, Jennifer, you sound like you have expensive taste. When you looked at that $10,200 and like it's not that bad. It's like, oh boy, that's some expensive taste. It kind of reminds me of my daughter because she did the same thing to me. But it was 6,000 something. And she said, it's not that bad. I'm like, holy moly. That's the 6,000 was bad. So you have you could see that. Um, but anyway, Jennifer, I'm not gonna hold you up. It must be a Jennifer thing. But think about maybe. But again, it's so hard for you to pick a time to do. But do you think you and Andrew can by yourself carry on a topic um by yourself and you got to remember that a lot of times when you're by yourself your numbers are going to start off lower. They build up over time. Do you think that would be better or I don't know. I say again, I've always been torn. I've always been torn with that co-streaming. And and I really hate it when it's like 5 or 6 people up there. I really again I just I think especially when everybody is sharing it out. I think it does a disservice. Yeah. Again, again, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is. I know one thing though. I know like I know Betty probably. Well, no, I think Betty understands. Like me and Betty. I can't ask Betty to come up on my live. She doesn't talk cruising. She doesn't talk cruising. So having her come up on my live is counterproductive. But again, her inviting me up on her channel. A lot of times I don't talk what she about the topics she talk about too much, but I am able to come up here and at least whatever topic she's talking about, I know about. Hey Betty, how's it going? I was just talking about you. When Betty calls me up on her channel, at least I know, like if she's talking about life over 60, I can sit up there and talk about that. But for me to invite Betty up on my channel, well, she doesn't know anything about cruising, so that's not I'm doing a disservice to me and Betty by asking her to come up, and she would come up whenever I wanted to, but I'm doing a disservice. And as I said, it's different like when she asked me to come up on her show because again, I can talk about life over 60 because I'm life over 60. So it kind of works. And then me and Betty disagree. So people like to see us banter. So that kind of works. Hey, baby brother, you are amazing. Oh, thank you, Betty. Woke up to go to the bathroom. Uh, Only if I never went cruising. Yeah. Well, no, but I was just talking about how for me to, you come on my channel and I want to talk cruising and you've never been cruising, how tough that is on you because you don't know anything about it. And at least like if you call me up to go on your channel, talk about life over 60, I'm able to talk about that because well, I'm over 60. Um, and I don't know how much you heard and how long you've been here, but I was talking to Jennifer and about her and Andrew and and maybe getting away from doing the group stuff so much and doing something on their own. And do they think they could carry like a channel? And this is how we got into the whole conversation. So, um, It's definitely an art form. It's definitely an art form. And I see Trish is hanging in here, so I see who the other person was hanging out in the bushes. I appreciate you being here, Trish. Jennifer, I know you got to go. If you haven't gone already, go ahead and get out of here and get some sleep because I'm gonna sleep till 11 o'clock oh no, I forgot. See, I'm up here. I forgot all about Betty at 9:30 in the morning. I'll be up. I'll be up. I'll go right back to sleep right after that. I heard Betty. She said she was going live this weekend. I was waiting for her to, let us know when. But it definitely it's an art form and a balancing act. It definitely is. I've been up here, Betty. I've been up here rambling for over 2 hours, talking about a whole lot of nothing. Talking like about the the want for viewers and not subscribers, and how I don't understand why people are so pressed for. And I'm not talking about people trying to get monetized. I understand that, but after you get monetized, after you get your 1,000, why you keep want to keep building that with people who aren't going to watch your channel? And I don't understand that, Betty. You got to chitter chatter and chitter chatter. You do, you do. And I was just saying, I was telling Jennifer how if you go live a lot, and not so much like with your channel, but like in the cruising community, if I'm going on live twice a week, and then I go on somebody else's live, 2 or 3 times a week, am I repeating my same stories over and over again? And are people going to get burned out of seeing me telling my same old stories? And that's what I'm trying to be careful about doing that a lot. Not that I don't want to. Like Jennifer, they can always ask me to come up and come on and just talk. But again, when I'm talking to them, they don't necessarily want me to carry the conversation. They kind of want just to have somebody to banter with instead of carrying the conversation. Some people want you to come up there and really carry the whole conversation. Yeah, if you talk about the same thing over and over again, it gets boring. And that's the one thing in the cruising community that we're all guilty of, where we kind of talk about the same topics and the same thing over and over and over, which dealing with Scott from Controversial Cruising has taught me how to be more focused, write a script out, try to stick to that script and go from there. And then, answer a few questions from the chat, but try to stick to the script. And you're not repeating yourself. Today was really a great show, and I mean great. I have not seen that in a long time. What? I thought all my shows were great. No, thank you, Betty. I appreciate it. Betty. I'm trying to get better at it. I say extend on that the next time. Betty, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about maybe doing more about the ports. But I'm going to see. I may switch that up. But again, I'm going to look at the information that I have about ports, and can I get an hour out of that? Trish, I'm editing the video, Betty. Armstrong, I really enjoyed today's show too. Oh, thanks. Great information. Oh, I appreciate it. You're too kind, too kind. And again, I'm going to give credit to Scott because he's the one that got me into writing a script and trying to stay on topics, try to stay on course. Uh, I think everything flows better. It was a little tough because people were talking in the chat, and at one point they were talking about movies. So where I love the conversation in the chat, but they're talking about movies. So now I'm trying to keep up with the chat, and I'm skipping over the movie talk, trying to skip just to see the cruise talk, and it got a little tough at times trying to stay on topic. But again, I didn't want to alienate people talking about movies, so you got to mention that a little bit. So I mean, it's a balancing act, and you learn. Sometimes just show your personality because it's the person that they buy into. I'm trying, Betty. I try to ramble on a little bit. We'll see how long that lasts. It flows, but people want to see you and know what you know. Well, and that's I kind of got into that where I now I understand that I do have a knowledge. Whether I talked about it before or not, I do I do understand now that I have knowledge that a lot of people don't have as far as cruising, and they want to know. And if I can give answers, that's what I'm going to try to start doing. More and more. I say don't skip over what your audience is talking about because no, see, it's not really the audience. It's one or two people, and that's not the audience. If most people in the chat were talking about something, that's one thing. But again, do I really want to talk about um, movies? Do I want to spend a majority of my time talking about movies? I can touch on it, but how much time do I want to spend talking about movies? The majority of people that are in my chat aren't here to talk about that. They're here to talk about cruising, some aspect of cruising. They try to tie into what you're talking about. Yeah, but you're not going to talk Parent Trap 2 into cruising. I mean, I'm good, Betty. I'm not that good. Everybody is your audience, but every audience is not a good audience. I could go up here and start talking crazy and stuff like that. I'll have an audience. Do I really want that audience? So I mean, if I want to get people in here, I can do it. But do I want that audience? And it's okay to talk about it, but not dwell on it. And try to keep try to keep it flowing about, well, for me, about that would be, Betty, that would be like me and Jennifer coming over to your chat, and you're talking about life over 60, and we start talking about cruising, and not everybody's talking about cruising. You got 25 people in there, and me and Jennifer are just typing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth about cruising and the best cruise place, and have you ever tried this or that, and it would mess up the flow of your chat about the topic that you want. Now there it is interaction, but I think it does more harm to your chat than actually it does good for your chat. Well, again, I don't stop it. I mean, as long as it's not crazy. Like the chat today when they were talking about movies, I didn't stop it. I let them talk about it. I mentioned it for a second, but kept on track of what I was talking about. And eventually it died. It dies out. All I'm saying is it made it harder on me for the chat because now I have to filter through through things. And I don't want to fall far behind reading about Parent Trap 2 and when it was and who starred in it and what year it came out. I don't want to fall behind in the chat as I'm trying to entertain that. I'd rather deal with people who are talking about the topic that I'm talking about. Well, what about this? What about that port? What about, whatever? So I mean, it's about, again, like you said, it's a balancing act, you know. So I'm not gonna be disrespectful to anybody, in the audience. And they legitimately had a question. And if it was, when it first came out, I acknowledged the question, and I spent a couple of not segments, but a few conversations on that topic. But I couldn't let that one topic derail my entire conversation, because that's not what I want. I want people to come to me and say, "Hey, here's a guy who knows cruising. He knows a lot about it. I like talking to this guy." So now, could I be wrong? I could be, but my goal is to try to keep the conversation about cruising, about travel. If it's Disney, if it's Vegas, if it's something like that, not something just totally against the travel industry. I mean, if somebody was talking about Paris or London, we can talk about that. We can work that into the conversation. We can work hey, I would love to take a cruise over to London. Have you ever been to London? Yeah, I've been over there. I saw Big Ben and all this. You can work that into the conversation. I could not work Parent Trap into the conversation. I just, as much as I thought about it in my head, trying to, I could not. So yeah, it is what it is. You live and learn. Betty, I know you're probably going back to bed, but I wasn't gonna be on here this long. I came on here just to say hi and bye and talk to Jennifer for a second. I just hate typing, so I just say, hey, hop on here. We can talk, or I can talk instead of type for a few minutes. I've been up here for over 2 hours. I didn't even adjust my night. I have to stop being so lazy. I have to adjust my Nightbot after shows. Like this one says, "Welcome to Banter with Bill." All I have to do is go into Nightbot, cancel that so it doesn't pop up. I really need to clean up my Nightbot. I need to make it nicer. You know, I need to try to make it nice, like you guys. You guys really do a good job on your. You guys do a really good job on your Nightbots. I am here. I went to bed before 10. I wish I would have done it. I stayed up watching the Lions game. But luckily, retired. So after I get off from your show tomorrow, I'll be there tomorrow at 9:30. After I get off of that, I can lay back down, take a nap, and then work on next week's show. You went over to VS. We went over to VS and got some great ideas from here. I'm assuming you mean from there. That's good. VS, again, she has a unique style. She has a unique audience. Deion Sanders, what team? I'm assuming it says does he coach? He coaches. It's a college team, Colorado Buffaloes. It's a college team. He left Jackson State University and went to Colorado University of Colorado. So that's it. Any Betty, any other YouTube tips you can give us without giving away your top secret? What great ideas did you get from VS? Was it topics? Was it oh Betty's going to sleep on me? Aw. It is a grind, Betty. Get some rest. You got to get up early in the morning because you got talking to do. You got to keep people entertained. So you better go ahead and get some sleep. Oh, Betty, I want to hear about that. I want to hear about that. I literally had somebody join my channel, and they didn't join my channel like during a premiere or a live stream. They joined watching a video. I didn't even know they joined. And then I looked, I'm like, where did this come from? Where did that money come from? And I'm trying to figure out, what it was. So now I understand that I need to check that on a daily basis. This is a job. I'm literally getting paid to do this. It's a job. And whether I think I'm getting paid a little to no money, it doesn't matter. I'm being paid and I need to treat it more like a job. So I do need to try to get more involved in it. Her new member was experienced African. I I don't know much about them. I've seen them before. Yep, I had someone join without me knowing, and she cannot speak English. I mean, that's a loyal follower there, Betty. I do know what I want to start doing though, and well, you started talking about your schedule, Betty, and I need to do something like that. I need to work on how to monopolize my time and venture out and visit other channels. A lot of times I get wrapped up into the same old channels, and I need to try to venture out to get newer people in here. And that's I mean again that's my goal. That's what I'm going to do. I started looking at sharing it out on Facebook to see if I can get more people on Facebook to get more people to come over. I think I said last night or whenever I talked about it was I think I get credit on YouTube for the hours, but the more I thought about it after, I got some sleep. I don't think I do. I don't the hours. I don't see how they would transfer over to YouTube, but it exposes your channel to more people. Now, will they come over to YouTube? I don't know, but hopefully. But I'm gonna keep doing it for a little bit and see what happens. That is the only way that we will move to the next level in YouTube or life. It is. It definitely is, Betty. As I said, you were one of the first ones. As far as guiding me in the right direction and different things. I'm watching your channel grow, and when you hear me say that, when I see your channel growing, I'm not talking about subscribers. I don't care about subscribers, but I'm watching about the interaction in your lives and on your premieres, views on your videos, and that's what I see growing. Like with you, Betty, and it's a slow and steady race, and that's what I'm trying to do. I know it's a slow, steady race, and I'm trying to do that. Um, and the subscribers come. Again, I get a few subscribers a week, but for me, I think I'm doing pretty good because I'm not even really putting out content. I'm doing lives, which is content, but like videos and things like that, I'm not doing that. So if I can maintain until I start creating more content, and that's on me. I need to go out and make content. But until I start doing that, if I can just maintain where I'm not losing people, where people aren't bored with my lives and stop showing up, I'll be happy. So Betty, go ahead and go to sleep. Jennifer, if you're still in here, go ahead and go to sleep. Trish, you go ahead and edit your video. Let us know, Trish. Try to think about it tonight. And if you're stopping by Betty's tomorrow, let us know what time you're going live. So uh, I'm sure Betty's going to shout you out, and I'll share you out on my community tab. Let us know, because again, we can all we can all grow together. And I'm trying to get better at that as far as sharing out on my community tab. Um, Betty, Jennifer, I'm trying to get better at that. And it only takes 2 seconds, but a lot of times I don't even think about it. But if you put out something early and you let us know, like for a premiere, we can share it out. Again, how many people see it? I don't know. But again, if it's one, two, three, that's that's more than what you that's more than what you would have had. And if we can all help each other and help each other grow, I mean, we all succeed. If I can help Jennifer and Embarkation Nation become a big YouTube cruising channel, maybe she won't forget me, and then she can shout me out on her channel and send people my way. And just the opposite, if I become a big YouTube cruising channel, I can do the same for her. You know, Betty is, I mean, same way. We can do it. Betty and I have kind of different audiences, so there probably won't be much crossover, which is still good. But if I send some people over to Betty and one person likes, because again, when you start talking about life over 60, that's something a lot of people can experience. Cruising is not something that everybody can experience, but a life over 60, a lot of us can experience that, and a lot of young people want to know what it's like. So that's a good thing. Trish said 10 p.m. Eastern time, Saturday. We will be there. Try and fail, but don't fail to try. John Quincy Adams. Good saying right there. That is a good saying. Trish, I'm the same way. I forget. I'm trying to get better at that, and I'm going to start. I'm going to start doing that. And no, Betty, if I share your channel out, you don't have to put me on your reel or your thing or not. But again, I want to share you out because who knows? Maybe one or two people might come over and check her out and stick around. And if we again, she grows, we all grow. I grow, we all grow. Trish, you grow, we all grow. Even though we all kind of do different things, but we can, again, we can all grow and be supportive of each other, and that's what these YouTube streets are about. I think Jennifer said had fun chatting, so I'm assuming Jennifer's gone. So that's good because I'm about to get off here myself. But I think I think we do well when we stick to what we do best. And when I say that, I mean I think I do better when I'm talking about cruising. Trish, when you're talking about hair, I think you do better. Betty, when you're talking about life over 60, I think you do better uh, with that. So but that doesn't mean that we still can't we can't support each other, And I think Betty and I are like a kind of a prime example of that. That you don't have to necessarily be in the same community to be supportive. Trish, I am finished editing. I know you're happy because editing. I was talking about it. Well, I think you were here, Trish. Editing is hard work. If you do it right, if you do it right, it's hard work. And the more you get into it, the harder it gets. Again, I get amazed with Betty because I do edit. I can appreciate what I see in her videos. She has a video of her walking from the house to the car. She has a video of her opening the car door and getting in the car. Now, most people just look at that and don't think much about it. But I'm thinking Betty had to set the camera up in the house, videotape her walking to the car and opening the door, come back in the house, grab the camera, set it up in the car, go back, close the door of the car, then hop into the car and then grab the camera. And it's like Betty is over there working. And probably most people don't appreciate that. I appreciate the effort. When people do editing right, I appreciate it. Well, all right, everybody. I think I've had about enough. I've been 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. I think I am going to get ready to call it a night. I do see Betty leaving a comment. The more you get, it, the more work it is for sure. Now I can chop up pieces of clips and move them around. It's amazing. Yes, Betty does a great job at Armstrong Adventures. I am doing good to get everything set up just to sit there and talk. It, Good night, Jennifer. It takes work to get the right setup, and I mean I've been working on mine for a long time. I'm still not happy with it. Let me take that back. I'm happy. I'm not satisfied. So there's a lot of things that I could do differently, and um, I'm still working on it. But I didn't want to like a plain background, so I threw some stuff up in the background, and I tried to make it travel related, cruise related. So I didn't not just anything. So that's why you see like this one over here with the ships, and then the world over here of where places I've been to try to um, keep it on topic. Betty is never satisfied. Well, you need that to keep driving. I mean, again, you can't get complacent. You don't want to get complacent because YouTube is changing, the videos change, what people like change. So yeah, you gotta change with the YouTube streets. And then I mean, one of these days, it's gonna click, and you're gonna develop an audience, and where people like Betty, they know Betty comes on at 9:30. They're gonna be there. I want to be like that. So that's why, banter with Bill, 5 p.m. Eastern time. They know I'm gonna be there. And I gotta just make sure I'm consistent and be there. Um, and I think people appreciate that. And I think you start picking up people. And like today, I felt like it felt good to see what you're doing appears to be working. I say appear because if 30 people came this week and next week 10 people came, maybe that was just a fluke. You want to be consistent with what you do. You're not always going to be consistent, as consistent. But again, I do 1%. I want I want I want to average 1% on my audiences, my premieres and my lives. I want to average 1%. So if I have 1,200 subscribers, I want to average 12. I think I'm doing okay if I do that. If I average more than that, I'm happy. I look at my numbers, and if they keep, if they're growing, if like, this week it's 12, next week it's 15, and then the week next week is 13, next week is 17, then the following week after that is 18, then 17. I'm seeing a progression of going up, and when I talk about growing, that's what I'm talking about. I do not care. I've seen too many people on the streets that that grew in a strange way, and the viewership and the um, comments and the likes don't really add up. So I don't want that. I don't want to have I don't want to have 2,000 subscribers and 10 people in my chat. I mean, I do want 10 people in my chat, but you get my point. If I have 2,000 subscribers, I want 20 people in my chat, and I feel like that's about the norm. You know, these bigger channels, if you have 10,000, well, you guys probably don't know Edna or things like that, but she has probably about 10,000 subscribers. She gets 100 people in her chat. That's what I want. And I want it to be consistent, not a one-time thing. I want it to be consistent. So with that, Trish, I appreciate you being here. Betty, Jennifer, everybody else that showed up, I appreciate you being here. But I am going to get off this chat and go ready to get some sleep, because in 6 hours I got to be up and be on Betty's. I'm not going to be on it, but I'm going to be a mod in the chat. So I will talk to you good people later. Good night, everybody.